The greatest catastrophe to hit the earth to date was the great deluge of Noah. Most of us think that the flood was simply a very long and terrible rainstorm. The statements in the Bible about the nature of the flood are beyond our experience and in some cases unexplainable in our current natural world. How can the mountains of the earth, such as the Himalayas, be covered with water? There is not enough water in the hydrosphere, the oceans, lakes, rivers, and water in the atmosphere, to cover the mountains. What does it mean that the fountains of the great deep were broken up, or the windows of heaven were opened? The duration, 40 days and 40 nights, is often dismissed as a formulaic statement meaning a long time. One thing is certain, either something so stupendous occurred that is well beyond modern man's experience, or the account is a fictional fairy tale. We believe that the flood was real and that it is explainable, but to explain it requires a new paradigm, a paradigm supported by the ancient records of the world, by the scriptural record, and by modern prophets. The biblical account provides the initial clue to the explanation of the flood. To increase the waters on earth to such an extent to cover it entirely, including the mountains, they must have come from somewhere else. This requires another body in the near vicinity of Earth to provide the source of the water. Emanuel Velikovsky attributed the external cause to the planet Saturn, which he claimed flared up like a nova and ejected water and/or hydrogen, which then enveloped the nearby Earth. Velikovsky is correct about Saturn having water. Scientists have determined that its rings are almost entirely made of water ice, with some traces of rocky material. Velikovsky developed this theory based upon numerous historical sources, including the Talmud. The star Hema has been identified as the planet Saturn. The two stars from Hema likely are the planets Venus and Mars. The connection between the planet Saturn and the flood can be found throughout the world. The Bible itself follows the archaic understanding as well. The God of Genesis who caused the flood of Noah is named in the Hebrew Elohim, which was the name of the planet god Saturn. The early church father Eusebius pointed this out in his work, Preparation for the Gospel. Modern scripture and prophets support the notion that the waters of the flood were external to the earth. Apostle Parley P. Pratt noted that during the catastrophes of the last days, the sea would retire to its own place. He was referring to the seas and oceans of the world removing to their own or original place. The context strongly suggests that the oceans of the earth today do not belong to the earth and will return to whence they came. The removal of the oceans and seas from the world will remove islands and continents, meaning the entire surface of the earth will be connected. It is likely that Elder Pratt received this understanding from Joseph Smith, but it is also included in Scripture. In a revelation to Joseph Smith, the Lord stated that he would drive the great deep, meaning the seas and oceans of the world, to the north countries. But what are the north countries? Homer Brown, citing his source as Joseph Smith, said that the northern countries of the Lord's revelation referred to a planet. When this planet returns to its former place at the Earth's northern pole, the waters which originated from that planet will return. Philo Dibble provided a drawing of ancient Earth, which he claimed was a facsimile of one given him by Joseph Smith. The center planet A, according to Dibble, is our Earth. The waters of the flood of Noah came to Earth from the planet at Earth's northern pole, labeled B. The waters then partially receded back to that planet. At the second coming, the remaining waters from the flood of Noah will return to their original place, the planet above Earth's northern pole. Though Philo Dibble did not name the planet Saturn specifically, we know from other sources that Saturn did once sit above the Earth at the North Pole, and is known to have water. Regardless of the specific planet, the catastrophe known as the Flood of Noah, or the Great Deluge, was caused by a planet near the Earth at its northern pole.